Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And yeah, we're going to talk about what could be TikTok's last stand. TikTok is already preparing for shutdown on Sunday, and this is despite there being interest from a bunch of different people. I've heard Elon Musk, I've heard the Shark Tank guy, even Mr. Beast supposedly, but it doesn't matter because if ByteDance doesn't want to sell it, guess what? It goes dark. But yeah, they're not even going to let you use the app at all. And if you try to do an end run around it, the region lock, you could be looking at legal repercussions. So
yeah, so weird.
This is going to be a wake-up call for Zoomers, I think, who aren't used to this sort of thing happening.
Well, you know what's weird? You know, maybe you'd think they'd want to sell it, or they'd want to work with them to keep them off of the red note, one. But who knows?
You would think, but let's talk about what's gonna happen come Sunday. Should there be no Hail Mary pass? I think a lot of people thought that by now there would have been a buyer, or that Trump's petitioning the Supreme Court to put on pause. That would get. It's not.
Well, they said the Supreme Court could intervene, but so far they're not.
They don't want to. I don't think they want to. I think they're like, yeah, whatever. Whatever. Oh, Trump wants it? Yeah, we don't. We don't care. So anyway, let's talk about this. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. You'll get a woohoo if you do.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother telling you to go to TikTok to subscribe because
it's such a weird. Because I'm just thinking about a world without TikTok is such a weird thing because it's been there so long. And it's been so important. I mean, overall, in the grand scheme of humanity, no. But in social media, and at least in play for the last so many years when social media, it's been a big deal. And even going over to YouTube, it's like compilations and stuff like that. Facebook's now doing short videos to try to compete, and it ended up changing the landscape of video and social media. It's basically Vine, but with a little different branding, but it's interesting because you start thinking there's no TikTok. I'm like, that's kind of weird when you say it out loud.
Yeah, because I remember when Vine imploded too. A lot of Vine actually got more mileage, I think, on YouTube as compilations than it did, as its own thing. But
that's how I knew about it because the kids were always watching them. I
mean, just last year we went to Denny's and they had like a TikToker menu with the TikTok stuff. Like, it was a huge cultural thing here for Gen Z. And, I know people have very strong feelings about TikTok. I got feelings about TikTok, but it is weird to see it just get snapped. I didn't
expect that.
I did not expect it to just get snapped. And maybe between now and Sunday, somebody can save it. But even if they buy it, my understanding of it is if they buy it, they're not buying the algorithm. They're just getting the content. So they basically would have to start over anyway.
Yeah.
At that point, why bother, right? I don't know. So this has come from the information yesterday. TikTok prepares for the immediate shutoff in the U.S. on Sunday. They're already ready. They said, they plan to shut it off for U.S. users on Sunday. The day a federal law will ban the app unless the Supreme Court intervenes to block the ban, according to two people familiar with TikTok's plans.
But TikTok will still be able to go in other countries, just not here.
Not here. Abruptly switching off the app rather than allowing people who have already downloaded it to continue using it will bring home the impact of the ban to all TikTok users. I know people were thinking, well, we just can't upload new stuff, but we can still surf TikTok and we can still watch videos. I'm like, no, you're done. They're just
You're gonna have to watch the compilations that are on YouTube. Well, if you want those, you better make a bunch.
Yeah, right. It said, under the plan, people attempting to open the TikTok app will instead see a pop-up message directing them to a website with information about the ban. One of the people said TikTok plans to give users the option to download all their data so they can take a record of their personal information with them. The person said.
What if people in other countries, since they can still use TikTok, what if they just start making compilations of TikTok videos and putting them on YouTube?
That's probably what's going to happen.
I mean, so you'll still probably, if they do that, you'll still be able to watch, some TikTok videos.
Yeah. So, I mean, we're just a few days out, and look, if business is going to happen, it's going to happen on a weekday. It's not going to happen on a weekend. So we got, today's Wednesday. We got the rest of today, Thursday and Friday, and that's it. And everything.
Well, they can do an emergency injunction like Saturday night, but they're probably not gonna.
Yeah. So, but they're like, they're gonna basically. So all these Gen Z kids, Gen Alpha kids that don't know really what's going on with TikTok, they're gonna go log into their app, and there will be such wailing and weeping and gnashing of teeth because they're gonna be like, "Where's my TikTok?" They're not even gonna be able to Yeah, it's not even gonna be like, hey, you can still watch the videos, you just can't upload anything new. It's gonna be like, no, it's just gone.
That's the day that all these people will look up. No, they're probably going to get a red note. So, you know, that's all they're going to do is
Then
go
there's
there.
going to be weeping and gnashing of teeth over there because they're not going to be able to put anything progressive on Red
Yeah,
Note.
pretty much. But they're like, we're just going to do it to screw everybody else over. And it's like, okay, that's great. But you can't, there's a lot of things that you have on TikTok you can't take over there, which, you know, probably is for, you know, the better. But
Well, yeah, they think they're going to shut Red Note down here in the U.S. too, because that one actually is like there's no question it's owned by the CCP, right? It's like, so if they're banning TikTok here just because of a arm's length connection, whatever, that like this one literally means red book. Yeah,
Red Note.
it's yeah.
Yeah, it means red book, yes.
Yes.
Little red book.
Very, very communisty, right? It's very communisty. So they're saying, yeah, if you try doing an end run around this ban too, it's not going to go very well for you. This has come from Deserto.
This is insane to me.
Yeah, this
over
is like-
TikTok.
Over TikTok, lawyer reveals risks of using TikTok with a VPN if U.S. imposes the ban. Yeah, as of the time of writing, it looks like it's just not going to go anywhere. But if you use a VPN, this is what they said. So we spoke with Neil Ellen of Stubbs, Alderton, and Markles, LLP. I wish more lawyers had normal last names. I wish it was like Smith, and Jones.
Sam, LLP.
Yeah, Smith, Spam and Jones, Spam, Smith and Jones. A business litigator who focuses on high-value intellectual property disputes to get his insight on it. According to this guy, using a VPN to access TikTok is against the law, and violators can't expect to be punished. If there is a law saying you can't do this, and you do this by using a VPN to circumvent the law, you're in violation of the law.
Yeah, but again, I want to say about what if somebody on another country that has access to TikTok makes a bunch of video compilations and puts it on YouTube, would you be in trouble because you didn't access anything other than YouTube, which you're legally allowed to access?
Well, that's the thing. Where are these people going to go? Because they're pissed off. They're pissed off at everybody, right? They're pissed off at Facebook now because Zuckerberg is sucking up to Trump. Twitter is gone. Tumblr is effectively gone. Nobody uses it. Snapchat. What the hell happened to Snapchat? Remember Snapchat was like the TikTok for a while.
Well, they still use it, yeah, but not
But
like it
nobody's
was.
using Snapchat now. And Snapchat was big for about 3-4 years, and then like nobody's using it. Well, apparently Tencent owns like 45% of Snapchat. So that's the whole thing too. So it's like, yeah, I don't. Where do you go? You're going to go directly to China, and that's going to get banned too. Whether or not it ends up getting forced, that you get fined, those up in the air. They explained the U.S.'s concern around TikTok largely centers on national security, something that will determine the degree of legal action against those who access the site.
Again, that's what I'm saying. If you put it on YouTube and you should be able to watch it there because, or Facebook, you should be able to watch it there because you're not using anything illegal that has, that they're claiming is a security issue.
What's interesting though is this kind of reminds me of the Napster thing where it was like they would make examples out of people.
Poor old Napster.
Remember the grandma that got sued or whatever for because like most people they could use Napster or LimeWire or any of those without issue, but like this random old lady got sued for download like her grandson or something.
Yeah, it wasn't her; it was like her grandkid.
So they tried to, So I'm like, then the public perception's not going to be good either. So it's like. Part of the reason that Trump got elected was because people are tired of government overreach. And if you're like, some 14-year-old tried to get on the TikTok, and then you find their parents for letting them on TikTok using the VPN, like what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, but that's probably what's going to happen. I mean, there are other alternatives you can use, but a lot of them don't want to use those now because they're mad at Zuckerberg or whatever. But, YouTube's an alternative for shorts. Facebook's an alternative. Instagram's an alternative.
They're downplaying shorts on YouTube. Which
I was explaining that to our daughter today.
I'm actually glad about that because as a YouTuber, shorts were effing up the algorithm big time. But as of October or November, they've basically decided shorts don't pay enough. And they still promote them somewhat, but not like they used to. It used to be like you'd watch a long form video and all you get were recommendations for shorts.
Yeah, well, also they were promoting it so much that you were expected to do it. And if you didn't do it, well, it'd be a real shame if you aren't found. So they destroy a bunch of stuff and then they're like, but it didn't work well.
We have heard that. We heard that, like if you're not using shorts, the algorithm doesn't like you. And then they just like flip that switch too. They're like, you know what? We don't like shorts either. They don't pay out very much.
Well, the closest thing I could think of to it would be like the Facebook the Facebook stuff or, Instagram. And you still have those access to that stuff, but people are mad at Zuckerberg now. So it depends how bad do you want to get this content. That's, I guess, the question you have to ask yourself. Even though I still think someone's going to make compilations and, overseas YouTube accounts and put it up.
How many e-celebrities are just going to disappear overnight? I mean, again, we were talking about Denny's, like, these TikTokers had their own damn meals.
They did.
At Denny's. And I'm like, I don't even know who you are, but they're like, so-and-so Joe has, 16 million followers on TikTok. I'm like, who the hell are you? I don't know who you are. Now nobody's going to know who you are because TikTok's gone. That's got to be I know some people are like,
it's awful. It's
awful. Some people are going to be like, serves them right. They should get a real job. And like, okay, whatever. But
it's a lot of work.
I'm just saying, like, well, a real job?
No, they're doing videos. We actually spend more time working on this stuff than we ever would have at a real job, quote unquote.
Yeah, because we have our own businesses. Like, it was so much easier for me to just go to work, punch a clock from 8 to 5, and come home and have a life. 5
What's
days
a life? What's a weekend?
A life?
What's a vacation?
But like, yeah, there are people whose livelihoods are just gone. I mean, it's crazy. We kind of ran something somewhat similar to that with Google when they changed the algorithm. We had websites, and then they went from like getting, hundreds of thousands or millions of views a month to like, 10,000 views.
Yeah.
It was like, what the hell? So yeah, I mean, anytime you depend on, this should be a cautionary tale for people, ourselves included. Anytime you depend on one platform for your income, this can happen. This can happen to you. It can happen to YouTubers. It can happen to podcasters. It can happen to anybody who does anything online, digitally. If you're a big wig on X right now, and then X gets shut down for some reason, guess what?
Yeah, I just don't think people realize like how much work is involved in each of these. And you see those things, but kids want to be TikTokers or influencers or whatever, and it's like you have no clue how much work.
Well, now their parents can be like, look at this guy. He had a deal at Denny's one day, and he was on the streets the next.
He's working at Denny's the next.
Oh my God, that's it. He had a deal at Denny's, and then he's working at Denny's the next day.
Not there's anything wrong with working at Denny's,
No,
but I'm just saying. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. We're just like rambling at this point. Sorry, guys.
Okay.
Don't use a VPN to go to TikTok. Keep checking YouTube though. I think what I'm saying is going to come to pass.
All right. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.